What is up, my ducks and drakes? Welcome to the Crawdad Lake. We're all familiar with the headcanon that Roman and Remus were once one side due to the very popular throwaway line from Logan. This led to the development of two separate sides of your creativity. Well, what if I was to tell you that in the reverse of the creative twins, Janus is a combo of two sides? Before we get into that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Only 30% of people who watch my videos are subscribed, so if you are part of that other 70% that isn't, hit the button and ring that bell. Starting out, Janus has a shift in mood, tone, and attitude each time we see him, and the theory brain goes brr and thinks that it's not a coincidence, as one does. Of course, this could go against the wall of, we saw the character officially for 3 episodes within the span of 2 to 3 years, but Thomas, Joan, and the crew have made very consistent about character, even if they don't show up often, which brings me back to the point that it is two separate sides of Janus that is doing the talking. Now, you are probably wondering what the two separate sides of Janus would be. The first, I am still thinking, would be deceit, and his deceptive side of Thomas. The second side, which I think after the events of what played out would be a no-brainer, would be self-preservation. Just a question, why would deception be concerned about Thomas taking care of himself and self-care? That was my first tip in the jar. It just made no sense to me in SBS Redux why the physical embodiment of lies would care so much about Thomas taking care of himself. Not to mention, Patton says himself at the end of Can Lying Be Good? Kiddo, simply put, deceit is an inner coach that acts with the one intention of self-preservation, which, in this context, the dictionary definition of self-preservation is the protection of oneself from harm or death, especially regarded as a basic instinct in human beings and animals. Of course, he could be speaking in regards to how you lie to protect yourself in situations, which demonstrated in that episode, but lying itself wouldn't care about that. The way that Janus is represented in Can Lying Be Good and Putting Others First is two pretty different characters. The Janus that we get in his first appearance is pretty mysterious, spooky, shallow, and just overall being displayed to the audience as a scary villain, though how true that is to be determined. Although, as we know, by the end of SBS Redux, he's trying to be made out as the good guy, or at least someone with decent intentions when he reveals his name. That's a pretty far jump for only being in like 2 or 3 episodes. Oh, but like, seriously, why would the physical embodiment of Thomas's deception care if he's taking care of himself? Sides get a boost of happiness when they're used, and Thomas is appreciative of them. When Thomas learns something, Logan is slightly happy. When he creates something, Roman gets happy. Why would it be different for Janus? Thomas thinks he shouldn't put himself above his friends, even though he knows differently. He is actively lying to himself. Janus should be excited about this. But instead he goes to tell Thomas that he is unhealthy in the way that he thinks and that it's unhealthy to be lying to himself like that. My last piece of evidence is one that either doesn't hold up at all or is my strongest support. His character design. If he was just lying or just deceit, why would he only be half snake? The aesthetic is really nice, don't get me wrong, but what is stopping Thomas from doing the snake makeup on his whole face? Well, I'm figuring that he only does half snake makeup because he's only half deceit. So, in conclusion, with his general demeanor, the way he acted within the 3 times that we saw him officially, and the character design, I would like to figure that he is two sides, and that along with Roman and Remus coming back together, we will get an arc where he separates. But we could figure that he's two sides all we want, and they can even say that he's two sides, but that does not mean that they will separate. Same if they make it canon that Roman and Remus were once one side, that does not mean that they will come back together at all, or even anytime soon if they will, at all. But those are my thoughts and I want to hear yours. Start some conversation in the comments. Stay tuned for this Wednesday's Wattpad Read Aloud too. There should be a link down below to recommend books for me to read. There are also links to all my socials including Instagram, Twitter, Wattpad, Tumblr, TikTok, and the channel's Discord server where we really do be popping off. I also have a link to my second channel where I go live sometimes, and we really do be having fun on those lives, so if you want to check that out, that's cool too. Well, I'll leave you with that. Thank you for watching, and do your best! Thomas thinks he shouldn't... Frick? Thomas thinks he shouldn't put himself above the... Okay, third time's the charm. Thomas thinks he shouldn't put his